What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best, bringing you some more Dragon Ball FighterZ matches. A bit of a special video today because I'm joined by a guest who a lot of you are probably familiar with, and if you're not familiar with, you're about to get familiar. And if you don't know now, you know because you need to know. Inzem, who as placed top 8 in regional finals and world finals, actually won was install last year against Wade of all people, who got second place in world finals. So I think it's suffice to say that this is one of the best players in the world and definitely one of the best players in the country. Inzem, how you doing, dog?
Hey, yo, what's cracking?
But yeah, so basically I'm bringing him on the channel today, and it's funny because like we don't talk super often, but like I'll pull up to a stream sometimes or whatever. And actually, for those of you who don't know Inzem's a bit of an interesting player, not just because he's nasty at the game and playing a team of characters that he don't play at all, he's already saucing on me. But Insem didn't start as a fighting game player from what I understand. He started as a Gears player and was like, yeah, I guess I'll get nasty at DBFZ, why not?
Yeah, I've actually played fighting games like a little bit before Gears, but like it was like they don't really have any combos, playing the siblings type beat. Like,
all right, and that's kind of where I started as well, because like I've played fighting games my whole life, but you know, just growing up mashing buttons, playing with my friends, my homies, and like being the best in, like, in my house or in my neighborhood or among my friends, and then realizing, oh, fighting games go a lot further than I realized. Yeah,
definitely growing up with my siblings. The one who actually like got me like into fighting games or just gaming in general, like competitive, was my brother. Like, I live in like a household of like 4, and I'm like the youngest. I have like 2 brothers, right? So like you can imagine growing up, it was like pretty competitive, like playing games like Injustice, Mortal Kombat, and stuff. And like, you know, being the youngest, like I would just lose, right?
Yeah. So to me, I'm the oldest, so I was the one beating up on everybody else.
No, I was the one getting finessed.
Ah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the 5 and whiffed. I hate it here. But anyway, so I brought Inzem onto the channel today for a number of reasons. One, so that some of you guys can get to know him, which, by the way, he streams and makes content as well. So links to his socials and everything will be in the description down below. You guys be sure to follow him, check him out, and everything like that. But I kind of want to get some of his opinions and his thoughts right now on the state of the game and how he's enjoying it, or if he's still enjoying it, and you know, the roster and everything. I actually originally didn't plan for him to be one of the guests on that stream that I told you guys that I'm doing this weekend. Not because I ain't rock with him, but I definitely do. And I started feeling guilty. I was like, I already got like a really long list, so I didn't want it to be too crowded, but I just felt like he was too valuable of a player. That was insane to not have all the streams. So he actually will be there. So despite the fact that I've invited him, he'll be there. I still want to know, like, basically, how are you feeling about the game right now? Like, what do you think of the state of the game and the community and everything, the roster, the balance, everything? You got any strong opinions you'd like to offer?
I'm actually of the train of thought that the game is actually already like pretty good. It's just a few bad things in the game that makes it like a bit unplayable.
Such as?
So like defensive assists, that's like for one.
I feel you. DP assists were already the best assists in the game, then they buffed them, so that's cool.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I still have to count. it's every base Goku player knows they have to count. That's just the rule of him. But it's like DP assists are like they're good, but there used to be a lot more of them, right? Like they kind of went out of their way to nerf a lot of them, like UIA, Roshi B, GTA to a certain extent was a DP assist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so because they nerfed them, in my opinion, the characters who were like good with like the certain DP assists, like everyone had like at least one of them they were good with, right? Like there's so many to choose from. But I think because they nerfed basically almost all of them, the few characters who do synergize really well with it, it's kind of like an unfair advantage to them, in my opinion, a little bit. Like think Vegito, Gogeta, right?
Right.
Like a character like Base Vegeta, his like really strong defensive assist used to have form like UIA and Roshi B isn't really like nearly as strong. So like he can't really fight back with his own defensive assist, and they're too strong. So I think like if they would just, it seems they want to just kind of take them away. That was godlike.
Thank you.
It seems they want to take them away, and my thing is, okay, if you want to take them away, just take it away from all of them. Then. Just kind of don't give it to anyone then, because it makes it like, it really makes metas unhealthy in my opinion, right?
So that's kind of been something I've talked about multiple times in videos and on stream and stuff, is that I always find it really nice, really weird when they take something away from a character. And like what they've done multiple times is like they'll nerf something about a character, then a DLC character drops and it has a tool that they just took away from someone else, and that always rubs me the wrong way. Like, bro, why? Like,
like what was the point?
Literally, what was the purpose? Actually, yeah, funnily enough, one character, so there's a number of examples, right? And this one has some nuance to it because of like utility between the two, but it's always been really weird to me that they nerfed Gotenks JL so that all his hits are not overheads, and then they introduced Blue Gogeta later, who has JM, which is the same thing. Now, the difference is I feel like Gotenks, like his JL like staircases you even better and like locks you down even better than Gogeta JM. But still, I digress. Like if you block all those hits, if you don't stand up to block all those hits from Gogeta, like you're getting hit overhead. I'm like, y'all just took that from Gotenks.
I think like, at least as far as they go, I think the reasoning is the fact that Gotenks has a instant to a low. It's actually funny because when they buffed Gogeta, because he had it before he had an instant low, right? So like having multiple overheads and a like insanely fast low is cheating, right? Because it's like, come on, like you get out of situations that's not really that fair. But like I think the way they tried to address it was when they gave him the fast low, they actually gave him active frames on his JL. And at first glance, while that like might seem like a buff, in my opinion, that was actually a nerf to like stop him from being able to do like empty jumps and stuff with the multiple overheads, because it's kind of impossible to tell between like 3 overheads and like empty jump. Like that's like too hard to tell the difference between, right?
Yeah, I feel you.
I think that's their reasoning at least. I will say though, they do that a lot though, like taking away from Mazin 21's level 3, but then 18's chilling with hers, like.
But at least that's the case where like she already had it. They didn't like give it to her, right? It was always there. But I do feel like that's something that she's going to lose in this patch. I don't expect 18 to get a ton of changes in the patch, but I got a bad feeling the pit of my stomach to take that away from her finally.
I hope she keeps it.
I hope so too.
Like I personally like when stuff can just be strong in a game. I think that's okay. I think it's fine if a character's top tier,
especially when they've added so much defensively to the game over time. It's just like I think we're at a point where we can let some stuff rock.
Yeah, for the most part.
But I agree with you though with the idea that I think the game is mostly in a great state. There's just a few things. Oh my 2H. It's a few things that are kind of stronger than they should be. But I think this is. I mean, and other people have said it before. The game's probably the most balanced it's ever been, and there's a lot of like really strong characters that move up significantly. We'll probably see a lot more play when some of those. The top 4. We all know who the top 4. When the top 4 kind of get knocked down a peg, because I don't know about you, but I feel like everyone says okay, top 4s. You know, Gogeta, Vegito, well, both Gogetas, Vegito, and Lapcoat, right? That's pretty much everyone's top 4. I do think Adult Gohan is in that conversation to where he could arguably be the best character in the game because level 7 is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna say I don't honestly see a lot of people talking about that right now, but I feel like there's a compelling argument there. And then that being said, I think Gohan's in that conversation for characters who might need to be toned down depending on how hard those top 4 get dumpstered. But nice. Outside of that top 4, I think there's a lot of characters who are in that conversation for that 5th spot, in my opinion, namely Beerus, Adult Gohan, obviously, like we already said, Blue Goku, Android 18, Zamasu. There's a lot of characters right now, Janemba. There's a lot of characters who are really, really strong. And even beyond them, there are characters who are like still really good, like Krillin. I think Krillin is a really good character that not a lot of people are playing.
Yeah, he's pretty OD too.
Yeah. So I think the game, generally speaking, is in a really good spot. It just sucks for me personally because like some of the characters I hate the most in the entire game are Gogeta and Vegito. I like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. He's not for me as much as but that's the thing. So imagine being me, right? It's funny too because my 3 least favorite characters ever in the game have been Z Broly, UI Goku, and Vegito. And all 3 of these characters at one point were the best character in the game, and Vegito has been terrorizing for too long. So for me personally, it has been a living hell. But I digress. But yeah, I got a handful of things in the game right now that I don't enjoy, but I think at least from a balance perspective, the game's probably the best it's ever been.
So you're telling me, so like the last 3 years, you've been like getting cooked.
Yes. In fact, some of the most popular DBFZ videos that involve me are videos that aren't even on my channel. It is one of them, and you know, wishing him well. I know a lot of people have been asking me about where he is. I don't have the answers, but no Kami. I know he like stepped away for a while to like focus on school and stuff, and that's pretty much all I know in his situation. But he had a video. Back in, what was it? Was it season 2? I want to say it was season 2. You know, when Bro was at the peak of his powers, and it's just me for literally an hour straight, just getting bodied by Broly. I don't think I won a single game. And the worst part about it is that in some of those games and some of those matches, I'm like destroying him, right? Like, and no, Kami's a far better player than me, but there's some games where like, you know, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a game where when a dude starts getting a momentum, it's very easy to just kind of get rolled in the game, right? Even to somebody who you feel like I'm definitely better than this dude, like sometimes it just goes that way. And I had a couple games like those in that until it gets to Broly. I take out the first 2 characters, light work. Broly comes through and it's a reverse 3-0, and it happened several times in that video. Almost to the point where it's like, is he doing this on purpose? But I played no Kami enough to know beforehand that he wasn't doing it on purpose, like because there were other games where I was getting straight bodied regardless. But Yeah, and then there's another. I don't remember if he was playing Broly at the time, but there's another video where Hook is just bodying me for an hour straight as well. But you know, it's
that team was. I understand.
Yeah, it just is what it is, man. And yeah, and then you know, a lot of my favorite characters either never get any love or get nerfed, like them taking away my rocket kick from Vegeta, or Trunks never being great, or Bardock being a shell.
These are like your favorite characters for the most part, right?
Yeah, like these three that I'm playing, I have like a little pool of characters I rotate between, but oh my god, these three are definitely really high. Like these are top 5, and you throw in Bardock, and those are my top 4 favorites if you add Bardock to these 3. After that, there's a lot of characters fighting for that 5th spot, because I really like Hit, I really like Lab Coat, I really like Majin 21. I know that just threw a lot of people off when I said I really like Lab Coat. Look, y'all can hate her all you want, and I understand you're justified in that hate, but I think she's sick.
I think if she wasn't disgustingly overtuned, she's actually a cool concept.
I agree. I like her design. I think her animations are really cool. I like her supers. I think she's a really sick character, but she was just way too overtuned, and so everyone's got that rotten taste in their mouth from her, and I get it. It's just, I'm always gonna like her though.
That's fair. That's fair. For me personally, like my favorite characters at least is like funny enough, Vegito is one of them. Vegito is one of them. And so I try to tell people this all the time.
That's no surprise to me. So when fucking 16 was top tier in season 1 of this game, like, bro, nobody likes 16 unless your name is the Kill Sage or Reynold. I'll give those 2. Unless your name was the Kill Sage or Reynold, I don't believe none of y'all like 16, because them the only 2 that actually tried to make him work post nerfs anyway, especially the Kill Sage. You genuinely love that character, but no one's favorite character in Dragon Ball is 16. Y'all are cap. When people tell me they really like Vegito or they genuinely like Vegito, I get that. Vegito always been popular. He's a fusion. The people love the fusions. I get that. When people tell me they love Gogeta Blue, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I believe it. When y'all was telling me Z Broly your favorite character, 16 your favorite character, y'all are cap stars. No, go on. Who are your other favorites other than Vegito?
So like, it's Vegito, base Goku. I actually love that character so much. Blue Gogeta, both the Gogetas actually, rather, not just Blue Gogeta. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought I'd get the little cross-up super dash there. That did not work out at all.
Who else? I actually like Team Gohan pretty a lot. Let's see. Base SSJ Goku actually, sorry. I actually like his design too. Base Vegeta probably is my favorite though, low key.
It's
like his
sick.
play, the way he can, like, his screen control, like how his pressure works, how fast he plays, everything about him, I just love the character.
What a 2M.
Like, unfortunately right now he's kind of struggling a little bit in this meta.
Yeah, well, it's a shame too, because Base Vegeta is one of those characters that was, you know, in the conversation for the #1 character in the game at one point. I don't know if he was ever truly #1, but he was in a conversation, right? And definitely top 5. And he didn't really get a chance to shine, because that was basically during the online era where he was kind of difficult to play online. And even though we had like the regionals and everything during that time, you didn't really see, I don't think, almost anyone play him. And then by the time offline came back, there were the characters above him. So he never really got the chance to be as strong as he actually was.
Yeah, online like really hinders him. Like, he's got an OD mix, by the way.
Yeah.
But like online like really holds him back. Like, this has always been his issue, where like he is insane offline, his pressure. I think he actually gets better offline than he is online. Like how his conditionings work, how hard it can be to block him sometimes. A lot of people panic more in tournament than they do like regular online. But like the issue with him is he's so precise that like it's hard to actually use him online effectively.
DP.
So it's really hard to get consistent practice, and it feels really bad to try to wow. It really it feels like really bad trying to get like consistent practice with him, so like you can like feel confident in tournament. And with how the net code is, it's not really a thing. Like his combos
rollback win
are one thing. His neutral is actually the main issue most people have a problem with, like with how like precise you have to be, how much you gotta look at the super dash.
Shout out Prep for that, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, but you just tried to take a Dragon Rush, didn't you?
Yes, I got that.
I don't know why that never. This is some. This is for the people on the YouTube channel. I'm gonna let you get back to your point, but I don't know why using that move never came to my mind that way. I used to always use Light there, and Prep was like, "Bro, you got to use EX so people think you're doing a Dragon Rush." And I was like, "What?" And then when I thought about it, I was like, "Oh, that makes so much sense." And it's been so game changing ever since. I'm sorry. You can go back to what you were saying.
Yeah, no, I was just like, it's
I made you lose your whole train of thought, didn't I?
Yeah, no, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone.
I'm sorry.
I had to think about it for a second. Dragon Ball and talking is like try to keep your train of thought as fucking impossible. But yeah, oh my god, he's being random. I hate this character. I hate his stuff.
For what?
But No, it's annoying trying to catch him on the ground. Is all.
Well, you know, it's one of the few things he's got.
But yeah, no, it's just like this meta right now is pretty interesting. A lot of people are asking for some interesting change. I've seen some very bad opinions.
People have some crazy takes. I'm not gonna lie.
Like I seen give S Broly an unreactable command grab on his light. I was like, okay, that's one of the worst ones I've seen. I've seen some people asking for like Baby to have a 2-0 low, and I'm like, do you know how much damage he does? Like how good his neutral is. I've seen some interesting stuff. I do hope for like I know this has been like a kind of a little controversial topic, but like who wants who to get nerfed? Me personally, I actually don't really mind like if not that many characters get nerfed. It's just like a few things that kind of I feel like give an unfair advantage to some people, right? Like Vegito A, he is my favorite character in the game.
Vegito A is
gotta
nuts.
go. You gotta go.
I remember there was a big discourse about whether or not that was one of the best assists, not just in this game, but in like all the fighting games. And somebody like recreated it as a mod in Marvel and was like, yeah, this assist would be broken in like every game.
Yeah, no, like there was just like I remember the whole discussion. They put it in Marvel, and it's like, wait a minute, it's kind of like pretty good.
Also, for those y'all who've been around long enough, LK and I tried to warn y'all. We been said that assist was good. Y'all said it was trash. They buffed it, and all they did was change the hit stun, and now it's too good. It was already a good neutral assist. Now it's an everything assist. Anywho.
Yeah.
Also,
so like
y'all see me getting bodied, by the way, while he's. Yeah, this is very rarely do I bring someone onto the channel for the first time, and they're talking and also destroying me. Usually that's the slight advantage I have because everybody's used to. Oh, I'm about to get him. It's fine.
It's cool. Have him.
It's cool. He don't even play these characters. He don't even play. Ooh.
No.
Nice.
So I have these. Let's go. I still got him, boys.
Did you play Tingohon at one point? Like actually?
Yeah, he was a main.
Gotcha. I was saying this is a little. He's a little too. You're a little too nice with him to have never actually played this character.
Yeah, no. Actually, I did the. I'm so annoyed. I did the hard part of the TOD and dropped the easy part.
It'd be like that, and I know better. Oh, bye, Trunks. We hardly know what.
No, actually, please, Goku.
Oh, I thought it was on the ground.
But like, yeah, it's like only a few things have to go, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Like so I think the most controversial topic or opinion I have on this whole upcoming thing is the fact that I actually do not believe either Gogeta should be nerfed that much at all. Like I do think they have like some slight things that don't make sense, right? Like Blue Gogeta's 2H makes no sense, right?
I do think medium scaling needs to be removed from Gogeta's period. Other than that,
yeah, Reds.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't really have a whole lot I want to see change to him. I just don't feel like anyone should have medium scaling on their full screen EX projectile invulnerable special move, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, it's like that has to go too, right? So for like Blue Gogeta, I think like it's kind of like the topic you said earlier, like they give some characters things, but like other characters are just like, no, I don't want you to have it.
Right.
Like something in season, so I started playing this game when Roshi came out, roughly around there, in season 3.5. But I have seen season 1. And in season 1, a lot of characters had 2H into call assist and they had air actions, right? With no landing recovery.
Right.
So like they looked at that and they were like, okay, we don't actually like that being in the game because it's a bit too strong, right?
Right. So that's my thing too. It's not an issue for characters that have unique things that other characters don't have. It becomes an issue when multiple characters had that thing, you take it away from multiple characters, but then allow this one character to have it. It's like you clearly made the design choice to like not for this to not be a thing in the game. And then you're like, but this character can have it if you pay $5 for him. and that's what I don't rock with.
I'm not too sure if that was a mistake. I would like to believe that was a mistake because they're actually pretty clever with how they design things for the most part. A lot of people don't want to give them credit, but like a lot of things are actually like makes enough sense, right? I will say they have some interesting design choices with like lab coat and stuff, right? But for the most part, they've been pretty good on it.
I'll super dash though.
Oh, he said I'll super dash. I was like, do I have more? That's my thought. I was like, do I have more cube blasts?
I couldn't remember who had more either.
That's like the most random interaction. But like, yeah, I think like that's an interesting thing. But like, I think his 2H needs to go. I think he needs to be made a 7-framer. That's like an uncommon opinion. Yes, Blue Gogeta. There's a lot of.
That's a great change in my opinion that I didn't think of. It's just so ironic though because obviously before Blue Gogeta got buffed, one of the biggest complaints about him, and this is also something that I had about him because I actually tried to play Blue Gogeta when he released because I've always loved Gogeta. I hate Super Saiyan Blue, and that being said, I don't like Blue Gogeta in this game. But I was like, he feels,
Gogeta?
yeah. But I was just like, he feels too clunky, right? I just didn't like the speed of his normals and everything. And so that was always like one of the most requested buffs for people was like, we just want better frame data. And they gave him that. And so now it's just kind of ironic where it's like, well, maybe one slight nerf we could give him as a slower jab, but it makes sense.
Yeah, like there's a lot of 7-frame level jabs on 6-frame characters. Like I think his jab, there's no reason it should be 6 frames. I mean, like people are like, oh, nerf the range and stuff. I'm like, no, that kind of goes with his design. I understand why they did that, right? That one makes sense. Just weakening it, like that's a 6-frame jab going further than other 7-framers. Like I think his should be 7-frame. I think Janimbus should also be a 7-frame jab. Just let it keep its same like what it does. It should make it a 7-frame jab. I think that would be good for him. Like very little changes like that. Like those are the changes I actually kind of want to see. Like not like a complete overhaul of the system. That would be interesting to see. I actually wouldn't be mad if that was the case. Like maybe as drastic as the changes in adding snap or like removing it. But
I miss snap so much, by the way. Oh, goodbye, Vegeta. Unless.
Nice. A lot of people usually aren't ready for that too much.
I'm usually not either, but I was right there for some reason. Why did I think I could push a button there? I don't know. I just called Trunks soon. I wouldn't be in this predicament. Or I could have just supered, to be honest. I almost never cancel out of 18's berry with super. Then again, I'm also the same person who plays Labco, and when I barrier, I half the time do not spin, so I'm just bad at using barrier, I guess. Oh, come on, Vegeta. Can I kick? And I kick? What a reflect.
Oh, nice tag. That's actually the next interaction he's a good shit plays already for. Yo, chill, leave him alone.
Hey,
I press 5 him.
Hey,
I press 5. I fucking do it.
Hey,
Oh
what you
my God.
doing over there? Oh God, thank God this tracks. I did that a little early.
But yeah, so something that's like pretty interesting about me that I think like I find it so funny when people say like I'm like looking at comment sections and stuff, right? And obviously in my head like some YouTube comments are figment of my imagination because people just say random stuff sometimes.
Oh yeah, some people aren't real, they're bots.
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, I had time to whiff a button. Wow.
It's a crazy hit song on those now.
But like, I actually originally started off as yeah, that was a block bomb. I'm so sorry.
Bro, did it twice. My small brain was not ready.
So when I first started, the first team I actually ever built in this game was Blue Gogeta, Vegito, Base Goku. Like that was the very, very, very first team I ever built. Oh. And that's like, I don't know if people recognize that team. That's actually the one I used the France versus USA.
Yeah, that's insane. The first team I ever played in this game, once it officially released, was Trunks 18 Goku Black.
Trunks 18 Goku Black.
In that order.
Yeah. So I literally picked my 3 favorite characters that looked the coolest and stuff. And then I was like, this looks cool.
Holy.
Right? Wow, that confirmed. Jesus.
That's nuts. You're insane. You're too good at this. No, not this time. Oh, come on. Now you don't. Please. I'm just. He confirmed.
But like, so that was like the first team I ever played, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I quickly realized that Blue Gogeta was a very weird character.
Right.
Like he's not, especially back then when he didn't have like with a different like routing system. So he actually was missing like the base like routing and stuff. I keep getting nervous for a fucking move. Now I'm trying to reflect it. But like I was just like I didn't want to learn the game from a weird character's point of view that didn't have like the traditional Dragon Ball stuff. Like I wanted to learn the game like how to use a Ki Blast and stuff, like not how to use a beam.
That's exactly how I felt at the beginning. So like characters who had like the weirder J2H or didn't have like a traditional Ki Blast, I was like, I'm staying away from those till I am much more experienced with this game.
So instead, I was just like, and also I quickly realized Blue Gogeta is not that good of a character at all. He was actually one of the worst, especially at that time. I thought he was actually a little bit better than other players thought. I know, like most tier lists, he was placed at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I think y'all underestimate how strong his mix-up was, even with the 11 frame low.
I was just talking about in a video I recorded right before, was that like even back then that character was better than people give him credit for. But I was like, hey, if y'all ain't careful, they gonna buff this character and y'all all gonna hate him. I'm gonna tell you this now. I said the same thing about 17. I'm a YouTuber though, so I don't know them.
He's just like, yeah, no, he's a YouTuber until he was like,
Yeah,
and then you're right, and he'll be like, yeah, you're just saying stuff, you're guessing.
But I mean, if anybody who watches Lotus's streams or videos, he's got a track history of being right about a lot of stuff. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. Who knows?
But like, I was just like, okay, so I don't want to learn the character from a weird character's point of view, and I also kind of feel like, he was like, I don't also want to learn the game from a bad character's point of view. Mm-hmm. Even though I do prioritize fun when I'm learning a game, I think that's extremely important. A lot of people miss. Like, you do not have to pick the super top tier stuff because you're not gonna have fun.
And that is some fun. Those are some words of wisdom for sure. I am personally of the belief that a character is as strong as you believe they are. So if you think that character is top tier, play them, especially if you like them. And you don't, obviously there are some people that the only way they're having fun is if they're winning. So they're gonna play what's already established. All right, everyone says these characters are the best. I'm gonna play them. I get that, but if you believe a character is strong, you can go a lot further with them than other people might believe. So. It's
funny because I feel like newer fighting games is almost like brainwash some people, and like how people seeing on Twitter all the tier lists, they kind of like see a top player say, okay, this is this and this on the tier list.
Oh, people don't know how to think for themselves. That's what grinds my gears.
Some people treat it almost as gospel, and like the funny thing is though, if you look back at older fighting games,
okay, hold on. There's one person I want to call out right now. This the big homie. I rock with him. He's very talented and skilled. All right. I don't care what nobody said though. I don't listen to nothing Hook says on the release date of nothing. Not day one of the patch, not no DLC character. Don't take nothing that dude says as gospel on day one. After about a week or two, then you can start listening. Day one, don't listen to nothing he says.
Nah, the wildest thing I've ever seen Hook say was like, I remember he got back from France and he had people in my chat saying like, yo, I don't think Beishida has mix. And I'm like,
sir?
What?
Yes, he has
like,
mix.
What? Then it was like, yeah, nah, Hook said he don't really got mix. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. But like, I feel like, so if you look back at older games, I don't know if you watch Smash at all, but Super Smash Bros. Melee, right? It's a perfect example. Mm-hmm. Yoshi, a character who was pretty widely regarded as like one of the worst in the game, who's definitely like on the lower end of the tier list for a long time until a player called Amsa, a Japanese player, started playing him. And people asked Amsa why he's playing Yoshi, and he was like, I play Yoshi in every game, like Mario Kart, Yoshi. Oh, it's always Yoshi. I'm picking Yoshi in this game. They're like, pick a better character. He's like, no, I have fun. And like years later, he's winning a super major with the character. And the character single-handedly in the tier list went from being one of the worst to like being like a high-ish tier character.
Ain't that funny how that works?
There's a lot of situations like that with certain people.
Yeah,
like Goku Black being regarded as extremely bad, Jiren being.
There's a lot of characters in this game who can still be pushed a lot further than they have been so far, and I think that's one of the beauties of where the roster is at right now. Because like we said earlier, there's a lot of strong characters in the game. It's just those top four, just a little notch above. But
I think like even the worst character in the game has good enough tools to beat anyone, depending on who's using the tools. Like they like the worst character in the game is not a bad character by any means. Like
yeah, I agree. Like the lowest tier in this game is within the context of the game. Like there's still good characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, I think that's a pretty good spot to wrap up this video. It's been a blast talking. Honestly, I wouldn't mind coming back and doing this again sometime soon. And hopefully you guys out there on YouTube enjoyed this conversation as well. Because again, I don't know if Inzem have ever even spoken in a call before. So it's a lot we could talk about. If you would like to hear us talk about that, number one, be sure to tune into the stream. Number two, be sure to follow him on Twitch. And number three, be sure to smash that like button and let me know in the comments that you'd like to see him come back to the channel. Any closing remarks you'd like to give the people before we get up out of here?
So you already heard what he said at the beginning. Like the YouTube, the Twitch, the Twitter that you can find me on.
Yes, sir.
But like, yeah, no, I actually like doing these type of talks. I genuinely enjoyed talking about the game and like different points of view and stuff. Like you mentioned Okami earlier, I love having talks with him when he was like relevant in the community. But like so you guys want me back? I'd be more than happy to.
Sure. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay tuned for all this content up when I bring you. With all that being said, let's finish off today. And remember, nothing can happen to you swing the bat. Later.